I want you to get together.
Hello everyone. So, autumn's here, the temperature's dropped, and I've cracked out my old hat. I've dusted it off. So here I am on the way to work, and I had a realisation last night. I just got off the back of a podcast with All Out War, the podcast, and it was a great talk, and we had a great time, it was good fun. And I kind of, while winding down after the podcast, because it was bedtime, but my brain was still reeling, as it usually is after I do one, I was just searching through some analytics, and I realised 3 days ago, so 4 days ago now, I went past 1 million views, and I'm kind of annoyed. It's like when you have your speedometer, you know, in your car that shows the mileage, and it ticks over back to zero. It felt like one of those moments that I'd missed. You know, I didn't see it go over 1 million. I was completely oblivious, and then I got thinking, you know, 1 million views. Wow, that's, you know, that's quite good going. I didn't think I'd get there so fast. You know, I say fast. I mean, it's 7-8 years, what, almost 10 years in the making now to get there. So I didn't, you know, it's not that many views over that long period of time when you actually think about it and equate it up. But still, I'm proud of that. I'm happy about that. You know, that's something to be proud of. And I suppose a thank you's in order to everybody who watched my videos and got me there. I looked into it. It turns out YouTube doesn't give you a plaque for hitting 1 million views, but it does give you one for hitting 100,000 subscribers. But I don't need a plaque from YouTube to tell me that, you know, what I'm doing matters. Let's put it that way. And I just thought, you know, about the journey of the channel and how I got to where it is right now. And, you know, I think back in the old days when I started this in 2014, the people I knew and the people I was talking to, the people who helped me build the channel to what it is today, basically. And I remember talking to quite a few channels around the time who were quite popular and quite big. There was a Dazzling One. She was one of the first channels I used to talk with and share ideas with her back and forth. And I don't think she makes videos anymore. I'm not totally sure. But she's one of those people she wrote a book, which was quite interesting. I bought that book and helped support her during that process. And, you know, she was quite an active Christian in helping with charity as well and things like that. So she was nice. And I remember she was one of the first people I kind of back and forth with. I remember having a good rapport and a good relationship with Jesse Spots, his channel, and Meegsby as well. A lot of things to do with gang stalking was talked about and the Mandela effect. We had a good brainstorming session there. I remember around the time of the Las Vegas shooting during that time, I got quite close and had a nice conversation with Tony from God Rules channel and Sons of Thunder channel. You know, the networking was good then. It was fun. We were heavily seeped in that time of conspiracy, the golden age of conspiracy, shall we say, where there was just loads of new stuff coming out all the time, and everyone was learning. All the truths were coming out, all the symbols were coming out, everyone was decoding everything left, right, and center. It was an exciting time, you know, for conspiracy. And I started my thing with the Nephilim Look Like Clowns thing in 2016 as well, around the same time. And, you know, I managed to speak with KJ Osborne as well. I got onto the Rigged Reality Radio when he used to host that. I'm not sure if he still does anymore. You know, and it was great to connect with somebody I considered, you know, one of my own personal idols. I don't want to call him an idol. I don't worship the guy, you know, but I looked up to him as one of the main channels out there who was spreading the truth, you know, and I was humbled that I got to speak with him. I got to speak with Gary Wayne as well, which was incredible, you know, and I communicated with a lot of people. I started the Truth of Therapy sessions around the same time period, and I managed to connect with my audience in a way I didn't imagine. I had people share all their experiences with me, and, you know, the response to the therapy sessions was overwhelming, because people needed to hear somebody tell them that they're not crazy and everything's all right and they're not alone, you know, because it's such an isolating subject. And, you know, I feel like even though I've got 1 million views, it was never about getting 1 million views. It was about building this solid, strong community, you know, and I was heartbroken when I had to stop. okay? And it wasn't my proudest moment, and in weakness and in fear, I shut the channel down because work threatened me. They threatened to demote me, and told me I can't have the YouTube channel and be a manager, you know. So now in hindsight, you know, it's screw Aldi. What had they ever really done for me? Nothing, but taken away 5 years of my life where I could have been building this community even more to something else. And now I'm self-employed, have my own photography company, and I'm back at the start of this year in January. It's been incredible. The journey has been unbelievable. You know, I started the channel back up. I came back hard, you know, and I started with a truth or therapy session, you know, saying I am back and where I've been, and the support was just incredible. People who were with me from the start, you know, in 2014 were still here. They hadn't left, you know, and they were back, and I was back, and it's like I picked up exactly where I left off. But unfortunately, you know, a lot of those channels around that time who were around, I think White Rabbit is another example as well. These people I'd kind of networked with and built a community with, they were gone. You know, they'd either burnt themselves out, didn't have the time anymore to make the videos. Either they were deleted or removed or censored, or they just haven't posted in a while for mysterious reasons. You know, it's kind of the wind behind them dissipated, and it all kind of came to a standstill. But then new people had taken over and come in, you know, and the community had shifted from when I was around. I had inadvertently, unknowingly become a part of the old school crew, you know, and then there's this new school of truthers around now. But one thing I came back and realized is the landscape had shifted so much that the Gnostics had kind of taken over. The New Agers had kind of got a more of a stronger foothold than the Christians and their perspective on it all. So when I came back talking more about the Christian angle and perspective, it seemed to be, for a lot of people, I'm getting the impression it was a breath of fresh air to finally have another solid Christian truther around telling the biblical perspective and how it is and how it can all be interpreted through the biblical lens. And the messages I get from people, just basically just saying thank you for being a voice for them. That's for actually voicing their worldview. It's just been incredible and heartbreaking at the same time. Like, I'm actually heartbroken that many people have not had somebody out there kind of validating their beliefs in a way. You know, there's been this vacuum, and I'm not saying there haven't been great Christian truthers around. There has, you know, but I feel like for people like me who came out of the New Age Gnostic stuff and kind of found Christ through the back door, let's say, not through the traditional means of being raised in a Christian family or going to church, there weren't many people lifting those people up, you know, and making it clear that, yes, that's a perfectly reasonable, normal journey to go through. In fact, it's everybody's journey. You know, on my Telegram group, I have a question, you know, tell me how you woke up and what topic it was that got you there and kind of where you are now, you know. People tell me their stories. I have 100 replies to that one comment, and that's not including the people who didn't hit reply, so I can't see the link, you know. But I have 100 replies telling me the same story, you know, that they had a moment, whatever that moment was, some event happened which made them start to question reality. They went down the New Age Gnostic route, then they eventually found Jesus at the end. And it's the same story. It's always the same story. And I'm here to tell that story over and over again, and I'm here to give a platform for others in the Truth or Therapy sessions to share their story as well, you know, and I want people to know, if you've woken up, okay, and you're awake now, that's just the start. That's not the end. And I wouldn't say you can be awake and not saved, and the true result is to be saved. And being saved is like another level of being awake. It's the final level. It's the fully eyes, fully open, seeing it for what it really is level. Being awake is just noticing all the trivial corruptions around, realistically. There's not much more to it, you know. Being aware that the world is a terrible place full of terrible people doing terrible things is being awake. But being saved is having the answer, having the solution, and understanding the context for why all this is actually happening. And that's kind of where I want to get people. That's where I want to get. I want them to get there quickly. I'm trying to make them not waste their time just dwelling and circling on one random topic here and there, or being engrossed in this whole Gnostic I'm a god ideology. You need to get out of that quickly and realize that waking up doesn't make you special necessarily. Okay. Neither does being saved, but it is the solution, and that's kind of what you have to get. And again, the responses from people is just, it's been amazing, and this has been a good year for the channel. Like, I didn't when I came back, since then I think I've gained something silly like 6,000 subscribers in such a short amount of time. The Nephilim look like clown stuff has I feel like I've hit my stride with it. I've found a format, and I'm presenting things in a much better way now. And the book, I'm halfway through writing the book now, and hopefully that should be ready by the back end of next year. But I didn't think I'd be here so quickly. I didn't think the support would be so amazing. And I have to be careful. I realize, a million views, that's a million eyes, shall we say, and not accounting for the repeat viewers, but it's there's responsibility behind that. I understand, okay, and I'm not saying I'm perfect and have all the answers. I don't, and I'm going to make mistakes. I don't want to let people down, but that's the point. I'm just a person trying to articulate my thoughts in a way I feel also other people are doing simultaneously. And I voice that opinion, and I think it helps for people to see people like me presenting their thoughts, verbalizing it for them, and that's what I'm trying to do, because I'm not any different from any of you guys out there. I'm also on my own journey, in many respects, and I am learning every day, and the only difference is I have this platform now where I can voice it publicly and people can listen. But I'm just going through the same stuff everyone else is. When a new global event happens, I'm also thinking the same things you are, and I'm wondering and theorizing the same concepts you're probably thinking about as well. And I try and hash them out before I make a video on Telegram. That's what I try to do first, and I try to bring people in. I want them involved. I want them to be in part of this brainstorming and sharing things with me that I'm gonna miss, and as always comes with more of a spotlight on you, I seem to have a new wave of trolls as well. I have the people accusing me of having slit pupils and being of the reptilian race, as is usual, and I can only laugh. I can only laugh at the absurdity of these type of things. I really can, and in a way, it's kind of, I know I'm over the target when you have your own entourage of trolls and regulars, but I don't waste time with them, really. I play around with them for a little bit and then I delete them. That's how it goes. But I've had people now making videos, the odd video here, questioning my motives and intentions, and it's like, I don't know how I can make it any more clearer about who I am and what I do. I think my work speaks for itself, that I'm a genuine person, and I understand how that sounds, that I have to tell people I'm a genuine person, because it's kind of like people then go, that's exactly what a shill would say, isn't it? You can't win with that type of stuff, but it's interesting. So here's to 1 million views. Thank you to everybody who's actually watched, and helped me get there. Thank you to all the new subscribers that have joined, and the old, especially the ones that have stuck with me even through the dark ages of understanding conspiracy, that 5-year period of emptiness and nothing. Thanks for sticking around and holding out hope that I would actually come back, because even when I stopped, I knew I would be free one day to do this again, and the fact that people stuck around and actually paid attention when I reappeared it's humbling. It's amazing. It truly is amazing. So yeah, I'm just making this video to say thank you. It's a big thing. It's a big deal, in many ways, to me personally. it's a landmark, it's a marker, you know. It's an achievement, as YouTube calls it. And here's to many more subscribers and many more views along the way. You know, I've got a lot more work to do, a lot more videos to be made. As an upcoming announcement to end this video, I've just certified and clarified with it because I booked this a while ago. But on the 12th of this month, October, I will be going live and talking with Gary Wayne. So I'm going to be having another conversation with Gary Wayne, discussing his second installment to the Genesis 6 conspiracy, his new book. We're going to be talking about that. And maybe I'll pick his brains and try and get his ideas and opinions on what I've been talking about with the clown stuff as well. Let's see what he has to say. So that's good. That's fun to look forward to. At the end of this week as well, on Sunday, I think that's the 15th, I've got Heidi Hollis. She's going to be joining me to talk about the Hat Man. She is the woman who wrote the book on the Hat Man, the original book. She's the one who compiled all of the information and the testimonies of people who had these experiences with the Hat Man entity. So we're going to get Heidi Hollis on as well at the end of the week to discuss her work and her theories on what the Hat Man truly is. So it's going to be a fun week for guests. And all throughout the next 2 months, every Sunday I am booked up with a new podcast guest appearance. So I'm going to be on a lot of podcasts coming up as well to discuss the Nephilim clowns, of course. And also this week, or this month, I do know the Conspiracy Pilled podcast. I'm going to be releasing my talk with them as well at some point this month. I think they're going to release it when they go on holiday or something like that. And very soon, very soon. So that's also something to look forward to. But other than that, guys, I'm going to leave it there. That's it for the announcements. I will just add at the end of this video, me and my wife have released the second episode of our new podcast, Tales Under the Big Top. And in this one, we talk about the Sycamore Gap Tree and a heinous act of somebody who lives in Australia, a media personality who has done some horrible stuff recently as well. So my wife left me in charge of finding the articles to discuss in this podcast, and it starts off relatively lighthearted, and then it takes an extreme dive into the abyss halfway through, just a sharp right turn, okay? I apologize now if you listen to that and get a little bit disgusted by what the second half is all about. But if you are interested, you can support me and my wife and our new endeavor with this podcast by signing up to our YouTube channel, Tales Under the Big Top. You can go and subscribe there. There's images to everything we talk about, just like my channel. You know, it's very similar. But it's a bit more lighthearted, or at least I try to make it a bit more lighthearted. But like I said, my wife left me in charge, so this last episode has been pretty brutal. So I apologize in advance for that. But thanks for listening, guys. And as always, God bless.
I want you to get together